ABC. What's up? It's a nice day in Charlotte once again. But I will say I like this because this is like weather where it's like nice and sunny, but it's not hot and humid. It's still nice and breezy actually right now. So what I want to do is answer some questions to my man Eric and his thread. Well, it wasn't a thread. It was just his update video for I think the 25th of March. But he has some really cool questions, and if there's stuff that really makes me think, I don't want to just write in the comments, so it's a good reason to make a video, right? By the way, I just showered, came out from worked like 8 hours, and nothing better than showering and making a video and drinking some nice fresh grapefruit juice. Mary just takes such good care of me, really does. You know, I'm like struggling with paychecks, and she just like packs up the fridge with some really good stuff for me to drink and eat. She's so good to me. It's good when you know you have a keeper. Yeah, so here's some of the questions. My boy Eric, he's a vinyl addict. I made a video actually last night to this, like 20 minutes or so. And then I found out that I didn't realize my phone actually didn't focus it before I pressed record, so the whole thing's blurry. I'm not gonna make you watch that. He first question was asking about if when you get into an artist, do you get obsessive about getting everyone's back catalog, or do you just get a few albums and you're happy with that? Now, there's a couple different ways to sort of answer it, you know what I mean? And it's really hard to explain sometimes. Like, I mean, with vinyl collecting, the best part about it is that it's just blown me away in terms of how many different artists I found that I never would listen to normally, right? But there's so many of them, and you sort of start to enjoy the records for their own, you know what I mean? As opposed to like, at least for me, like I might really like a band, but because of the vinyl, I sort of focus more on that album rather than focusing on, you know, I want to collect every single thing by them on vinyl. Now, there are a few, that's what made me think about this, there's a few particular artists, two that I have a nice amount of, one that I would like to, where there's a situation with them where they're particular artists that have this wanting to have everything of it. Now, how to describe is sort of weird. It's basically, they're great vocalists. I'm talking about Glenn Yarbrough, who I've showed a couple times, which is older singer from 50s, 60s, 70s time. And then Laura Nero, who actually I think was this month, or last month. I think it's this month actually. It probably already happened. Got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame finally. Now, I have 7 of Laura Nero's records. I have 8 of Glenn Yarbrough's records. Now, Laura Nero, I haven't paid more than probably, maybe I paid 1 for $5. Other than that, I got a couple for $1 at a record show, a couple for 2 or 3. My buddy sent me one as a gift. I've never had anything of hers I've listened to that I haven't enjoyed, and there's just this type of there's like this aura around her music that I love, and there's just a fascination with her, and I think it's because of the fact, sorry, I'm picking my nose straight up, and my allergies were, it's the first day where my allergies really got hit, by the way, so you're going to see some snots coming out your screen. I first got into Laura Nero from a Jay Dilla sample from a beat of his that I love that he did for a group called the Visionaries in California, and called All Right, you know. And ever since then, in college, I've been intrigued by her, and now I'm being able to collect her vinyls, and she has a lot of different phases, you know, a lot of different sounds. A Mother period later on, and a trilogy of albums, you know, they're all together, and just cool stuff. And Glenn Yarbrough is like one of the first artists of the older generation that I ever got into through vinyl. Like I have like 4 or 5 Frank Sinatra records I found that pick up when I see them cheap, so it's good to have them, why not, right? But I don't listen to them as much, and I don't get into them as much. Now I will be honest with you, with the Laura Nero and the Glenn Yarbrough, I have 8 and 7 records of each one. I haven't listened to them all thoroughly, but I know that I'm going to. I know that like part of me like feels like I have so much other stuff I listen to, but I know that it's never a bad thing to add more to that collection. And I know I'll get all the, I only need like 2 more in Nero's works, I think. Glenn Yarbrough, will be a lot harder because I know I can't find every one of them. But they're just never disappoint. Now, of course, lots of artists you can say that for. But for some particular reason, I think maybe all of us might have those particular couple or a few artists that there's just particular fascination that maybe you have trouble describing even, or, if you focus more on it, unlike me, maybe you can figure out reasons that you want to have those things. But I mean, I really like Porcupine from Echo the Bunnymen. I listened to him last night. Do I feel the urge to go out and buy every other single record of theirs? No. If I saw one for $5 or $7 that was in great shape used of Echo and the Bunnymen, would I go out there? No offense to people who like them, I like them. But would I go out, for example, would I go out and buy every one of their records? No. If I saw Johnny Cash, would I go out there and buy it? No. I'll tell you this. Maybe another reason why is I don't see Laura Nyro's and Glenn Yarbrough's. I guess I have a nice amount of them, so I guess I find them. That's sort of weird to put it, but they're never where I expect them. And it's like always like in the mist. It's never looking for them. They always come down without looking. So there's a surprise and excitement factor in the collecting of their records. Now the other one is Dory Previn, who's a great singer-songwriter, and I have 2 of her records, and she's just very interesting and very quirky, and I just want to have everything of hers. I only have 2, but that's another one. She's the first one I actually declared in my mind. I want to have everything of this artist. Like Carole King is the Fantasies, that record I always love to talk about, right? And show, and I send it to Rob, and I send it to people I can. But I have 4 other Carole Kings that I don't listen to them as much, and I was not as happy with Tapestry as everyone else talks about it, and not nearly as much as Fantasy. And I don't think I'd actually be into everything of hers just because I love that one record. It is what it is, though. But Laura Nyro, Glenn Yarbrough, Dory Previn, get at me. Get at you. Ooh. By the way, if you don't already know, you're listening to Outkast, AT-Alien style. Other question. Greatest hits. Do you enjoy greatest hits? Do you go for them? Do they really represent a good work of the artist? I never really cared about greatest hits. Now, because of vinyls, and because there's so much new stuff you find every day, if you find the greatest hits of a group you never heard of, if I see a greatest hits of a group that I've never heard of, I might not pick it up. If I see a group of an artist, now if I see a compilation or a greatest hits of an artist that I've been wanting to get into and find vinyls of, and it's cheap and I see greatest hits, I'll probably pick it up. Even if I didn't keep it, so I have an idea of what their sound is like. Like, I don't have any Beach Boys yet, right? And I've been wanting to get into Beach Boys. But I haven't, which is awesome because they're playing Bonnaroo this year. That's a great man, Bonnaroo. The main acts in Bonnaroo are sick. Fish, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Beach Boys, and Radiohead. Wish I was going. Hope if you guys are going, let me know. I want to know. Man, what a great show review that would be for a video, huh? Anyway, what was I on? Beach Boys. But I just showed I had that, that $2 for that summer record. Was it Everlasting Summer? Something like that. That's a great compilation, right? It's all their best stuff before, I think it's all the stuff prior to Pet Sounds. So, I mean, why not get it? $2, perfect shape, and they're a band that everyone tends to really love. So, yeah. And even if I didn't keep it, if the record gets me enough incentive to want to go buy their other albums by album-wise, that's a good thing, right? And that serves its purpose. But, I don't really care about collections usually. I never care about greatest hits usually. Prior to vinyl, still don't as much. I think the Beach Boys one might be the only greatest hits. No, I have another one, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. I don't listen to that much, but I liked the little bit I've heard, so I figured it was good. But another reason having good greatest hits is because if you know that you don't care enough to want to buy all the other records of that band that you like, you think you might go back to one day, just get the greatest hits and settle. The only greatest hits album ever, since I've liked music, that I can ever think of, that I loved, that I thought of it and it actually became in my mind almost like more like it was an album, was The Cure's Staring at the Sun. Is that the title? Or Standing on the Beach? Maybe Standing on the Beach. So I know that's the title of their song, but I thought the record maybe title was a little bit different. It sounds dumb because I'm forgetting the title, but I know the album real well. That's what got me into them, and from there, I have all my favorite Cure albums now. which, by the way, mine, Wish. I like this moment of silence, actually. If you don't listen to The Cure at all and you want to get into them, like that's a great go-to. And if the Beach Boys record I got served that same purpose, I'd be more than happy. But then again, The Cure is The Cure, and they're so freaking good that maybe that's why it's great. But another thing about it that I thought of that's very, very interesting is that if I knew that every greatest hits album that was put out by an artist that was well respected, or an artist in general, if I knew that was actually compiled and thought about by the artists themselves, what they want to represent as their greatest hits, that would probably, I think we'd all probably buy some more greatest hits, right? Ani DeFranco a couple of years ago, she wouldn't do that type of thing, you know? Ani DeFranco a couple of years ago did that, and it's a double disc with all of the stuff that she put together. I think she actually redid some songs and updated them, which is cool with me too. I think that's great. You know, like Kate Bush did that with Director's Cut. Like a revisiting. But if they actually, if more artists actually did that, like I love that. Like I love Ani DeFranco. I think she's amazing, and like, you know, and she's like one of those great singer-songwriters, like an amazing lyricist. I sort of like put John Mayer on that level. I think John Mayer is not, he's great with his words and he's very, very impressive, but Ani has a one-up on him, because Ani's lyrics are really something else to me at times. They really blow me away. They get really deep and really down to the basic human emotion. But that's a great idea. I mean, I'd love to know what Ani considers her best work. So I'd love to hear what The Cure did, or the Beach Boys did, or Echo and the Bunny Men did. So that's another thing. I think people would be more in greatest hits. I know I would. All the artists that are putting it out or putting it together themselves, and maybe there's a nice little booklet, or maybe I'd love to hear explanations. Why did you choose this song? We chose these songs from this album as opposed to these songs from this same album because, like, right? So yeah, those are my answers for that. As you can tell, I'm sort of zoning out a bit, but I'm feeling good, so you guys are good with that, right? Color upward. I knew that this album got to the song Elevator, so that my time was running out. I'm just going too long and rambling, so it's not there yet. Two things. VC Love, and then I got Mary Love. The VC Love that I want to mention is my boy Daryl D. Washington. You know, he was sending me these things a while back, maybe a few weeks ago, and just leaving comments, and, you know, he didn't have any videos up, so I didn't really catch him and who he was, and I just figured, oh, okay, and then, you know how it is. I'm going to be completely honest. If you guys don't like it, I'm sorry, but if you guys don't have videos that you're putting up, I'm not going to just subscribe because you subscribe to me. You know what I mean? Because, like, I want to see things. That's the reason for subscribing, right? It's not for the numbers, it's for the videos. So, when I saw they had videos, I was so excited, and you know, and I just watched the first of his music choices, and the dude is awesome, man. Like, Daryl, you know your stuff, man. You know what I love the most? Your intro was so just like me. Like, you were like, you see, it's your boy, Daryl. I love it, man. You got flavor. You got lots of flavor. Like, if you had all your flavors in this drink right now, like, if this was you, I'd be drinking you all up, baby, because you got flavor. Especially with some grapefruit juice in there, too. So I want to thank you for the love, and, you know, Daryl's sending me, there's a couple, he told me I got, like, 4 different mix CDs, I think, getting sent to my way. Man, I hope those things can bang in the whip, because that's what I'm looking for right now. I want some summer breeze. Give me some summer breeze. Sales and crops, baby. That's what I'm looking for right now. I'm excited, man. I love making mixes, too, so I'm definitely going to have to hit you back up. I have a few things on the side of, like, I have 2 people I feel bad that already have, like, 3 different records for 3 different people that I have on the side of my collections. I've been, like, wanting to send them out, but I hope you guys understand. Money just gets tight. As bad as it sounds, as horrible as it sounds, it's even hard to spend money and pay bills and still have enough money to send out packages every single week. Kind of sucks. But yeah, man, big shout out to you, Daryl. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to see what else she got. Guys, this is so amazing, right? So, I stopped into Mary's place, and she's not home from work yet, but I wanted to get off work and come here because she lives real close, so I come here after work sometimes. Uh-oh, elevator's coming on. She left me a text message, and she was like, oh, when you get PS, when you get back, there's something for you in, like, the dining room shelf on the bookshelf in the top right-hand corner, and it's green and brown. It's actually green and black. I think she might be colorblind. Love you. So she said to me, hey, check it out, and I was like, okay, cool. Earlier in the week, last week I think, I made a comment to her. I told her this once or twice before how, I really want to put together dividers. I need to alphabetize my records, and so I told her about Wes, my man Wes. We all know Wes, and Wes, he showed his video on using the manila folders and printing out the big letters on Word and both sides and stuff, and how easy it was for him. So he told me that. So, my girl, who loves me so much, it's cool, the color of this is bitter chocolate, this is the color of this paper. She made me them, she made me dividers, guys, and I'm so freaking excited. I'm so freaking excited. And so, I don't know, I'm thinking maybe I can laminate these bad boys. I think that may be what I'm going to do. So